They may think I did it because of the house or David or my brain. But for those that I leave a letter to, they'll know it was because of my brain. And that I feel that God took David because it was now we had finally become that couple we were supposed to become. And God took him because I knew David would not be able to stand my death. And he told me a long time ago that if I died first, he would just go to bed and die. So he had basically told me a long time ago that he saw no reason to live once I died, which made me very sad because I did not want to be the reason somebody would die. I never wanted, that's stupid. In fact, I kept saying, can we start checking out women for you? And he said, ain't gonna happen. And I said, come on. I said, you got beneficiary of my pensions. You got a house. There's a lot of single, widowed women up here. I'm sure there's bound to be one, if not several. And he says, no, once you found the best, you don't want to go back.
Tell me about your cousin. Are you close with him? He's the one who was also,
He's my closest cousin. He's my favorite cousin, and I have a box that he's getting family pictures.
Is he in Texas?
No, he's in Northern California.
Oh, right.
And so I'm going to include a letter to him. His family does not know that he's dead, so I will be sending a box, or
David's
they will.
Family? Sorry.
David's family. They don't call. You want to know how David is? Pick up the fucking phone and call. And we've lived here how many years? And David had to reach out to one niece who we thought was the best of all the remaining Kusids. God, what a dysfunctional family. If anybody could rip each other apart, his family did, and I think they did it for sport. But he reached out to her, and they had been talking, and she had a daughter who was very sick. Still, I don't know to this day, but having a whole bunch of digestive issues, and so young to be, like 7 or 8 like that, and dealing with, having to take steroids, and I don't know what her issues are. I think she was being tested for Crohn's and stuff like that, so pretty serious. So he was in touch with his niece, and at one point she had told David that she loved him more than she loved her own father, which sent David over the moon. And then about a month before he passed away, he had tried to reach her. And it was not uncommon for her to go a couple days without returning calls, but it had been a week, so then he called again. And instead of calling and saying, I'm busy, I'll call you when I get a chance, no word. Another week went by, called again, left a message, no word. And he said, what should I do? And I texted her. She never responded to my text. And I'm going, And I said, well, I don't know, David. She's not responding to my texts. So I didn't know. No, actually I did. I take that back, because he said that I'm calling her husband. And I said, oh, wait a minute, that may not be a good idea. And he said, why? And I said, remember, he's a high power attorney for some law firm in LA, and he makes lots of money, but he's a very busy man, and I don't think he's going to like you calling. And he says, I haven't heard from her for 3 weeks. I'm worried. And he said, I get it. I said, just make it short, brief, be very courteous. And he did. I listened to the phone call, and he said, I'm hi, I'm your Uncle David, Rachel's my niece. I've tried 3 weeks now to reach out to her. I'm really concerned about the welfare of your child. I'm sorry that I had to call you. I only reached out to you because Rachel hasn't returned my call. I'm sorry to have bothered you. Please call me and let me know everything's okay or not. And that was the conversation. And I think it was less than 24 hours, the phone rings and it's Rachel. Because we recognize the number when it comes up, and he goes, hi! And then I saw his face go like, hi! I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. And he hung up. And I said, what the fuck just happened? He says, I just got read the riot act by my niece for calling her husband. Apparently she was busy and would get to me when she had time. This was totally unlike her. This was a very meek girl, which was being browbeaten by her husband, obviously, and was upset that David had called because he was concerned.
Yeah.
David was so heartbroken. I mean, she was the last hope we had that there was a nice Kusid out there.
So she doesn't even know that David's dead?
She never called again.
So they get notified, your cousin's going to get a letter.
They'll get notified after I die because there's 2 boxes that are already packed with the stuff, and the only thing I have to put in them is the letter and the label for the OHS to ship it.
What about your cousin? Do you talk to him often?
Last time he called was about 3 weeks ago.
So you're occasionally in touch.
And I hadn't, until I texted him to tell him of David's death, and I hadn't spoken to him in 3 years before that. He's busy. Busy lives. People are busy. I get it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think I'll think?
I think Denny will be sorry, sad, but I think he'll understand. And if he doesn't, it's not my problem. My whole thing with talking with you and the BBC is that maybe by people seeing what looks like an articulate, well put together person who's really not, who's had some great coping skills that have gotten her this far. That's what the psychiatrist told me. That just because the medical field tells you that you have a disease, they don't have the right to tell you how you're going to die. And every bit of money that I would have left would be going to some medical facility, some pharmacy, some doctor. All of my money will go to the medical field. And that's so unfair because they don't deserve to take care of me when there's no hope for a cure. They are nowhere near getting any cure for what I've got. Nowhere near. They can't even tell how bad my disease is until I'm dead, and then they can slice my brain open. That's pretty bad. That I'll probably find out, I won't be able to, maybe I'll get reports. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a form of CTE.